Cambridge in pink, Manchester in orange. Let's get technical, Greg. We talked about the gearing, the Cambridge gearing. We know there's an 81 centimetre spread from the pin to the centre of the seat, and an 11 centimetre inboard from the rigger to the end of the oar handle. Explain that for us all.
Yeah, that's 1 metre and 11 centimetres inboard. Basically, what we're saying is the oar is a lever that you lever the boat down the course with, and they have put the fulcrum of that lever very close to them. That means you've got a short inboard and a long outboard, so it's hard to move the boat through the water. It's adjusted by that little button on that lime-coloured sleeve, so you can see a nice close-up here. So what we're saying they've done is they've given themselves a very short distance from that button to the handle, and a long distance from that button to the oar. What it's going to mean is they won't take as many strokes, but the strokes they're taking should move the boat further.
Tactics-wise for Manchester, all about moving the boat, not the water. They will look to get off the start line quickly, keep that speed on, and do the celebrations afterwards. Manchester, Team Orange against Cambridge, pretty in pink. This the first of the semi-finals.
And here we see now the Manchester crew really upright, short strokes, higher rate of striking. We're likely to see more strokes being taken by the orange crew, but now we see the leverage coming in. But here, the legs aren't even coming up anything like full length in the Manchester orange crew yet.
It's been a very, very tight group, Manchester, since they started to come together on the River Dee in Chester in April. They've created a really strong sense of identity around what it means to represent that city, and they're turning that sense into a quantifiable lead at the moment.
Well, Manchester are taking 50 strokes per minute. Cambridge are taking 45 strokes per minute, so it's quite a difference. Now the pain's going to be cutting in. Now this Manchester crew are trying to come up to full length. They're trying to keep the boat levered along. They're going to be feeling the pain. Will the Cambridge crew's gearing be able to help them come through as they look to still be accelerating?
No. Cambridge expected to be behind at the start. They rather hoped that they would be in front by the finish, but they were never able to bridge that gap between themselves and Team Orange. And we have our first finalists, and they are Manchester.
Yeah, Manchester revved the engine just that little bit harder. They had higher revs, they had higher strokes per minute, and that got them across the line. The crew from Cambridge were in a harder gear, but they couldn't get the speed.
Manchester, the quickest of the quarter-finalists, the first winners in the semi-finals.
Stroke rates. We talked about stroke rates a lot. There's never been a more obvious difference between the two, averaging around 45-50 for Manchester. That was the difference, pure raw speed.
Absolutely, and I think as well, they did talk about the rigging as well, and it makes a big difference. I think if you've got a hard rigging, you can't put as many strokes down per minute without putting more power down. And I know this is all about power, but power takes a huge amount from your muscles. And to be able to move quickly and fast and efficiently, it's I think it's about finding that balance of high rate, low intensity to get that power. It's kind of it's a balance of a number of things, and it's all slightly contradictory, but Manchester really put it together well here.
Talking about power and talking about muscles, I think we should talk to the stroke here, if you don't mind, because that was a powerful display. Stroke rate around 50. That was the plan, that was the tactic, just go for it?
Yeah, you just got to go as hard as you can, basically. It's simple.
You're barely out of breath. I was going to ask you just how tiring it is on those muscles of yours, over 350 metres. Whereabouts do you feel the pain? How far in?
Probably 10 strokes in. That one was like harder to get the work on. The water was a bit rougher, so a little bit more breath than the previous one, but still hard.
You currently have the fastest time on the water here. Yeah, surprise you?
Don't know, it's just nice to hear.
Talk to me about the Manchester team spirit. We've talked about it a lot. It's been such a tough time for Manchester of late, and I know the opportunity to represent Manchester in a good light is always a great opportunity for you all. Is that always at the forefront of your mind?
Oh, we're just trying to do the best we can for ourselves, for the team, and yeah, just trying to put it all together.
You got a final to look forward to?
Yeah, can't wait.
Good stuff. Congratulations. Well done. A fantastic display. They barely look out of breath. We talked about what kind of crew do you need for Power8 Sprints. Again, voyage of discovery. We didn't know. If you look at Manchester, big, strong, that's going to work. You want powerhouses.
Definitely. I think rowers are notoriously known for being endurance athletes. Of course, these guys are. They train for 2-kilometre races normally, but you can see there's a lot of power in that boat. They're massive. They're a stacked crew. compared to some of the others who maybe look a bit more wiry because they may be better over longer distance. But today it's all about the short distance.
And you don't have to use all that power. We're seeing that as well. They're not all using a full stroke. Sometimes they're just kind of mid-range and just a quicker stroke rate. At 50, that's what Manchester are doing, surely.
Yeah, definitely. I think as well, we saw it earlier about the boats coming to the line, and it's whether you're on the surge or not. And it's all about having your blade in the water. If your blade's in the water, you're moving the boat forward. So the longer your blade's in the water, the more the boat's moving forward. Also, you've got this contradictory thing of if your blade's in the water, you're causing resistance. So it's getting that balance right. And I think as Manchester displayed there, if you can keep a stroke rate of 50, you're moving the boat forward, you're not having the blade in the water too long, and you're constantly on the surge.
Well, Heather, there's a giddiness in the air because Bristol are about to take to the water again. SEMA is with their city champion.